Are you considering buying a property, or do you own a property in Marbella and the Costa del Sol, and you're worrying about what you're going to do about winterproofing your home? Well, right now you're in the right place. We have got Rayhan from Murprotec right here in Malaga, and she is an expert in winterproofing and humidity issues. Today we're going to be talking a bit more about that. I'm Cassidy. This is the NuSun Network. Rayhan, welcome. I'm really glad we've got you here. Can you tell me about what it is, who you are and what it is you do?
First, thank you for inviting us, and it's a pleasure to be here with you in your podcast. So I'm Rayhan Zaher from Murprotec. So Murprotec is the leading company in Europe and Spain of this treatment. It founded on 1954.
Wow.
And it's one of the it's the pioneer. I can say that it's the pioneer of this kind of treatment, of developing this treatment. Okay. So we are present in 9 countries, and here in Spain, our agency here in Costa del Sol, it's based in Malaga, and we have our main offices between Madrid and Barcelona. So how I get involved in this field? So it was a coincidence, because I was looking for a job for a friend, and when I see such an important and multinational company that offer an attractive job, so I postulate and I got it.
You got the job?
Yes, and I joined the team.
Wow, okay. So it sounds like it's a company that's been around for a lot of years, with a whole load of experience in many countries, but also quite a lot of
by the way, we are going to celebrate our, next month, we are going to celebrate our 70th anniversary in Europe. Yeah.
Wow, okay. So can you tell me about any common issues that you're seeing from maybe humidity issues, damp issues in properties? What are common, and is it only winter, or is it things you need to do leading up to winter?
First, I'm going to explain the problem of dampness, because there is 2 main type of dampness. So the first one is accidental or punctual dampness. It's caused by, for example, a roof, a broken tile, or a broken pipe. So there we call a plumber, for example. And there is, and the most, I think, dangerous one is the structural dampness.
Yeah, of course, structural dampness.
And this is what we treat in Murprotec. Okay, the structural dampness can be defined as when the humidity comes from the ground and rise up to the wall. Okay, and here we have 2 kinds of this lateral filtration when the wall is under the ground. Okay, and we have capillarity when the level of the ground it's the same both of side of the wall. So it's placed in the we say code 0. In the first ground, for example.
So lateral filtration in the ground, and
the wall is under the ground.
Under the ground, and if it's level with the ground, it's called
capillarity.
Capillarity. Listen, it's 2 new words for me, so thank you.
And we have another problem of dampness that is environment. Dampness. This is it manifests when you have, for example, fungi spot, black spot in the corners,
mold sort of,
and also some fog, windows, fog, and the smell of humidity inside the wardrobe. Okay, and this is the 3 kind of humidity: accidental one, and the structural one, and the environment one. So in Murprotec we trade environment and structural one.
Environment and structural. Okay. And do you see? You mentioned earlier that you've got offices in different countries, obviously different temperatures as well. Do you notice any difference between like those three type or those two issues that you treat? Do you need to treat them different, or do you see any differences maybe here compared to a colder country, and Spain compared to a colder country?
I can see that it's different. The problem is the same.
Right.
The dampness, the structural dampness is the same everywhere.
Okay.
But I think the different quantity of cases in Belgium, for example, it's more humid wet, more cases than here in Spain. And for example, here we have environment dampness in Costa del Sol regarding to the Granada city, for example.
Yeah, of course. And do you see any issues about, because obviously we're right next to the sea, does that cause any issues at all?
Yes and no.
Because we get a lot of sandstorms and all these weird things happening.
because the humidity, it causes by our using the house.
Okay.
You understand? For example, we have a problem of dampness if we are staying more at home. For example, in the winter, we tend to stay at home more. Yeah. We ventilate less than other time of year. So I think that provoke more. There is internal factor more than external factors.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what about, because when I immediately think about dampness and humidity, I think about old houses, old villas. But what about like new properties, maybe new constructions, because there's loads of new constructions going up all over the coast. But how do you get involved in that?
In fact, we treat a lot of new construction because sometimes there is a dampness in the ground. When a company build a building, there is a filtration from the water. The water passes to the structures, pass to the structures and to the walls. And there sometimes we help to insulate this construction.
Got it. So even new constructions, even though they're brand new, if there's a core issue on the ground, then it's going to cause dampness to that structure, isn't it? Which is what you said. So I think if you're getting in early and helping that process and to treat that process, that's probably the best approach, isn't it? So reach out. You guys get involved early with the construction site. Do you do some sort of a land assessment? How would you know? How do you know it's damp?
First, this company who are building are contacting us.
Right.
Okay, so we send our technician. He make his diagnosis. If we see that there is a ground that passes agua, passes water to the...
That's okay, we're in Spain, it's okay.
Okay, sometimes. Okay, when they detect that there is water in the ground, we give a report, a technician report that there is water. Yeah. So we help in this, like this. So when the constructor build the first walls, so we make our treatment. We do our treatment.
So you're catching the problem before it gets worse, before it starts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's really interesting, because it's just something you don't think about. You only think about dampness when you can see it, right, when it's there, but you don't think about why does it start or getting it before it starts. In my mind, you have a house, you see dampness, and you want to get it treated.
Yeah.
But that's more reactive. But what you're talking about is more proactive, and it's about getting it before it starts.
Yeah, but these cases are very. We have a little of this kind of cases.
Okay.
But we usually received contact when the people see this dampness in their house.
Of course.
Once build the house and you go to live in.
Yeah. That's more common.
All customers are living inside in their house.
But it makes sense, because most people think it's like getting insurance, right? Sometimes you might not get insurance on something, and then something goes wrong and you wish you got it, but you only think about it after something happens.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you think about things before it happens. So I could imagine that's why your majority of business is when people can see the dampness or smell the dampness, they want it fixed.
People don't overlook these details because their problem have a solution. They have a solution. You have not to suffer from this kind of problem. I think if they call us, we are given a free diagnosis and we can assist them.
So if there's an issue, you can do a free diagnostic, and if they want to go ahead with the work, they can.
Once people call us, so our technician visit them. They make a free diagnosis and propose them a definitive solution. And our solution is guaranteed up to 30 years.
30?
Yes.
30 years?
30 years,
wow.
Yeah. We guarantee that our treatment eliminates dampness completely.
Wow, that's a long
and
time.
We guarantee
that's an amazing guarantee.
Yeah, we have 3 treatments. The most important, we guarantee 30 years, and the other one 10 years.
Okay.
The most used treatment, it's a guarantee up to 30 years.
Right, so the more common one is 30 years.
Yes.
And I think as well, from a health perspective, if you've got mould in the house or dampness, it can cause a lot of issues with your breathing, respiratory,
yes,
especially in elderly people.
Yes, this is an important question because it's dangerous for health and also for the building. The World Health Organization says that dampness can provoke, for example, asthma for 50% of people who live in houses in home with the dampness.
Wow.
And about the problem, the structure problem that provoke the oxidation of the material, it provoke cracks in the walls.
Yeah.
The building with the time can collapse if you're really.
Pretty serious.
I'm not exaggerating. Really, I'm not exaggerating because I remember 2-3 years ago, there was a building which collapsed in Miami.
Okay.
I remember this because our CEO gave his opinion in the television.
Yeah. Okay.
In an interview in television.
Oh, right, okay.
You can Google it.
Murprotec
Miami collapse or something.
And that was believed to be with dampness.
Yes, because it was the problem of the dampness was which provoked this problem.
The collapse.
Yeah.
It just shows how important it is. And why wouldn't anyone who thinks they've got dampness contact you to get a free quote? Yeah, a free diagnostic.
Yeah.
For me, it's a no-brainer. If you've got issues, if you're worrying about your health, you're worrying about the building, it just makes sense to get in contact with you and get that checked out.
Yes.
Does it cost anything?
No.
Get it checked?
The first visit, no, and they explain everything to the person who calls, and it's really for free.
Yeah.
And it will help them a lot to avoid the problem in the future.
Of course it will. Of course. I mean, I work with a lot of developers in the Costa del Sol and people who are buying land and everything else. So I'm definitely going to put them in contact with you, especially before they start building.
But the first diagnostic, I think, not when you have the land.
Got you, okay.
Just the land. When you start the construction or when you finish it, it's better to see if there is a diagnostic. Or when the house finished before painting, and there you can make a diagnostic to see if the water passes to the wall or not from the ground.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Can you share any success stories with us about maybe where you fixed a really bad damp problem?
We do a lot of works in many, for example, University of Huelva and several whole towns in Spain. And the best success for me is to treat, for example, every year we treat more than 15,000 houses.
Wow.
In Spain. And for example, last year in Malaga, more than 1,400 in Malaga.
In Malaga alone?
In Malaga, yes.
That is a lot of cases that you're
Yes,
doing.
the difficulty is to treat old welding
Wow.
because they have another type of material. The material that we use, it's totally different.
So really old, but so old buildings you've got to treat differently. So if you've got a really, really old, hundreds of years old building,
Yes.
you've got to treat that different from a more modern building, and the diagnostics will be different as well.
Yes, it's different because the material that you use to weld this welding is different. It's different, and also the weighting of the walls are different from the nowadays construction. We are a little nervous when they make the diagnosis because it's an heritage or it's a historic welding.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important.
And I suppose being a company that's 70 years old almost,
Yeah.
you have that experience in that team anyway to understand these types of buildings. You'll have those specialists that know how to deal with it.
We have R&D department
Okay.
who template new techniques.
Techniques and processes.
Yes, in all our processes. So we don't only innovate the products, we also innovate our systems of work and process of work.
Got you. So you've got to look at the old stuff. You've got to have processes for the old stuff, but also the current way of working, but potentially the future way of working, because properties, the buildings, the way they build properties, the materials they'll be using in the future might be different from now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming your R&D department would have to look ahead in the future to say, well, what's it going to be like next? What building materials are going to be next?
Yes, that's why we have this department.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was going to ask you about how do you innovate, but you've got an R&D department, that's what they do, that's their job.
Yes.
So you're always staying on top of the trends,
Yes,
but
yes.
you've also got that awareness of the history as well. Obviously you do a lot, the company does a lot for moisture, but what can people do to prevent moisture themselves?
First of all, they have to ventilate more their house.
Yeah.
Ventilate more their house, but and to observe and watch every day their walls. If they say that they have, for example, a fungi spot or black spot in the corner, in the roof, or fog in windows, or mold, so then they have to call a specialist, as for example, to call us.
Got you. But really, first of all, is just keep the place ventilated.
Yes.
Especially here in Spain, right? We get a lot of heat build up.
Yes.
And also, there's a lot of people who leave. There's a lot of people here with holiday homes, vacation homes, so they might not be in the property for 3 months, maybe. So I'm assuming during that time, do we recommend that they keep their windows open?
No, I think because it's very dangerous for their safety, for their house. But for example, I propose the air treatment system.
Okay.
We installed this one in Murprotec.
Okay.
You can have your house closed, but make a artificial ventilation with our system.
Okay.
Yes, because you can let your windows open and you are not here for 4 months.
That's a long time. It's inviting people. So there is a system you can put in there for people who've got holiday homes. If they get this system, they know they're not going to get any dampness issues.
No smell of dampness.
Good.
No black spot. No dampness in their house.
That's really good, and that's something that you install, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything, what do you enjoy most about working at Murprotec?
I'm working with people, very responsible people, hard worker, and very smart. I can say that they are smart in their area. Also, I like my company because we have a policy of flexibility, and there are a balance between life and work.
That's good.
There is a very, they look for this a lot.
Yeah.
and I feel they're like as I am working with a family, with a very big family, because not we have a little family here in Malaga, but we are every day working with Barcelona, with Madrid, with other agency every day, because we are contacted. Our work is related to other
of course
agencies.
it is. Yeah, and similar issues, similar problems, so sharing similar experiences.
Yes, yes. We every day we learn something new.
Yeah,
That's improve our skills, and I think everybody here is learning something every day.
So tell me, what advice would you give to anyone who's thinking about starting to deal with their own moisture problems in their house?
It's not worth to suffer this problem. I think they have to call a specialist, to call us, to call Murprotec, and we give them a diagnosis, a free diagnosis. I think this is my advice, to call us, and if we can treat the problem, we treat it. If no, we can give them advice how to treat any problem of dampness. Okay? And so also I'd like to say that we have a very international team.
Okay.
They speak English. Personally, I speak French, Arabic, and English. Wow. But our technician also speaks English perfectly. Awesome. So they can call us without any problem.
And I'm sure you'll probably get some phone calls in the back of this podcast, especially for our clients and our listeners and our watchers on the YouTube channel who are thinking about or even have their own property here in Spain, but also internationally, because it sounds like you're a massive company in many areas. So listen, thanks for coming along. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for receiving us.